Hello, movie nerds, and welcome back to Cinematic Sarcastic, a podcast that talks all things movies and television. I'm Natalie, and I'm your host. On today's episode, we are going to talk about Jordan Peele's Nope. I am very late to the game on this one, and I'm kind of okay that I'm late to the game on this one because I assume that anyone that wanted to see Nope has seen it by now, and I can do a completely full of spoilers review without feeling guilty about it. And I'm glad about that because I feel like this one would be difficult to talk about without kind of spoiling a few things. At least it would be for me. So I am only really late to the game because when I saw trailers for Nope, I had a very incorrect idea in my mind of what this movie was going to be. The trailers sort of led me to believe that this was going to be pretty scary, and Nope is categorized as a horror thriller. And I would not categorize this movie as a horror thriller at all. I typically don't like watching horror films in a movie theater because my fight or flight response to things that scare me is just to cry. And I don't like that in a public setting. So I like to watch scarier movies in my house so it's not as terrifying to me. But this was not scary. I'm not entirely sure what I missed here. I don't even think I would consider this one a thriller. It was extremely slow paced. The movie is 2 hours long. About an hour into it, I almost gave up on it and turned it off and just found something else to watch. But this one was a strange one. I've only ever seen one other Jordan Peele film. I saw Get Out, and I enjoyed that one very much. I went into it completely just as an entertainment value kind of film, and I liked it. So I'm not sure if there was meant to be any kind of commentary about it or agenda to it. I read a couple of articles after finishing Nope that suggested that maybe there was a don't exploit animals kind of social commentary for this film, and I'm not sure how they got there with it. So this one, I mean, there were definitely some themes throughout, and I was like, okay, I can sort of understand, because with the chimpanzee, for instance, they continue to kind of bring that up is you shouldn't, animals sort of have their breaking point, and that sort of came up a few times with one of the horses sort of lashing out and the monkey definitely lashing out and wreaking some havoc there. But I didn't quite understand how that connected to the rest of the film, because really the whole premise of it is that there is what they think is an alien spaceship, which actually just turns out to be an alien species of some kind that looks like a hot air balloon. I don't know. It wasn't scary at all, this creature, but I think you were meant to be scared of it. But I don't know how you can be afraid of something that just looks like a balloon. I don't know. Even during the portion of the film, when all of the spectators for this Wild West show that's happening get kind of sucked up into this alien creature, and I'm assuming that they are being digested. It wasn't scary. Just kind of any moments in the movie where you're this is about to get gross and maybe potentially could be scary, there was always some sort of a door would close, or it would switch to a different scene, or where you didn't really it would lead you to the edge of potentially being scared and then stop. And I don't know, it kind of just looked like you were all of these people that had been sucked up there were sucked up into a balloon. And it's hard to find that scary. And then the creature poops out their spare change, and that's hard to find scary. So I'm not entirely sure what I was missing with Nope. And maybe someone can leave me a comment and explain to me, what the film, how it's meant to connect, or what it was meant to really be about, because I feel like it had an agenda, or a deeper meaning that was just completely and utterly lost on me. And I think the majority of that comes down to just it was very slow. It was very slow. So when you started to get into the part that I feel like is meant to be more intense, you've sort of been tired out by how long it took to get there. At least for me, that's how I felt. And the scary parts, like the scary alien, turned out to be much less scary. So I have to assume that there was meant to be a message here that I just didn't quite grasp in this movie. I mean, I want to say it sort of reminded me a little bit of Annihilation, that movie that came out with Natalie Portman. And I went into Annihilation kind of knowing that there was an alternative view to how you were meant to see that movie, i.e., I had read an article from either the director or the writer of Annihilation, I can't remember which, talking about how it was meant to be sort of her vision of what cancer does to you and to like the people around you, and how that cancer never leaves you unchanged, right? And so it made sense kind of going into the movie going, oh, each person sort of morphs or is changed by their reaction with this thing, i.e. this cancer, right? But with Nope, it wasn't as easy to pick up on whatever message I feel like was meant to be there. And it didn't really stand on its own in an entertainment value kind of way. Like, I think if you didn't understand what the premise behind Annihilation was, you could still enjoy it. That being said, I've only ever seen Annihilation once, and I will never ever watch it again because the screaming bear thing like freaked me out, and it scared me to death. And so I can't watch it again. But Nope, I feel like I just wouldn't watch again because it wasn't like a standalone. If it was meant to be social commentary, it missed the mark a little bit for me. And as far as just being a on its own entertaining movie, it missed the mark for me there as well. Like it was just much too slow to be very enjoyable. It was easy to get up and kind of walk away and know that you're not going to miss anything because nothing was really happening. And so this one was just a strange Jordan Peele movie for me. I very much liked Get Out. And that one, was just done differently. It sort of reminds me a bit of like M. Night Shyamalan, right? Everyone sort of got used to what his films were like. And then when he started doing things differently, it wasn't quite what we were all expecting. I think that Nope is that for Jordan Peele. Just not quite what I was expecting and not as enjoyable as I was thinking that it would be. I fully well expected to be kind of terrified out of my mind. And I wasn't. I was pretty bored. I will say Keke Palmer did an amazing job. I'm not really as sold on Daniel Kaluuya's performance on this one. He seemed very zombie-like throughout it, and I don't know if that was intended or not. So yeah, if anybody knows what Nope, like what the backstory was or how things connected or what was going on there, please do leave me a comment because I would really love to know from someone who maybe understood the movie a lot better than I did and could kind of tell me what was happening. Yeah, so let me know what you guys thought of Nope. Subscribe if you want to join the Movie Nerd family, and I hope to see you in the next episode.